What's up everyone, JD here. I got another everyday carry video for you guys. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I wanted to do a quick video about a pickup that I got from Civivi. I did have a button lock Elementum already in the all black G10 variant with the G10 backspacer, and I've really found that I just like this knife so much. From a fidget factor, it is a lot of fun. The plunger style reminds me a lot of the Spyderco Smock, and it feels like it's actually going to be a bit more reliable. A little hard to do behind the camera, but it's going to be a bit more reliable to me than the Access Lock, Able Lock that I have on my Hogues and my Benchmade. But anyway, I really do like this knife. From a size perspective, it fits me really well in hand compared to my Elementum. The Elementum is fine. I can get all four fingers on there, but it just feels a tiny bit small for me for my carry, and that's why I do really like that. Now, I did have the Civivi Stylum in this OD green, which I really did like, and I ended up getting rid of that knife because I really found the more time I spent with it, the less that I liked the double detent slip joint style knife, and I ended up picking up the Civivi bow to kind of replace that. And then I ended up selling my Brazen and the Tonto because I found that I was never carrying that knife, because I found that I really enjoyed this style knife, the button lock Elementum, because it was a little bit more slender, a little bit more lightweight. It could flex into the office carry for me because of the fact that it wasn't taking up a lot of pocket space in my khakis. And because that happened, I ended up losing the red and the Brazen, and then I ended up losing the green for the Stylum. And I kind of reversed it because I really liked, well, there was no option in the bow for the green, and I really liked the button lock so much that I could justify picking up another one. So this is the Nitro V Steel 3.5-inch blade. I apologize. This is the 14C 28N steel coated in black with a Micarta OD green scale that looks really good, and they even put the Micarta in the backspacer in front of the lanyard hole, which I think is really cool. You can really feel that that is genuine Micarta. It does have the same pocket clip. That's a minus for me on all of the Elementums, that has this really high, I don't know why they make this thing so high, but I will say at least on the button lock, because there's so much room in there, I can actually finagle that to kind of fit in between.
That's what she said.
These two fingers, and it's really comfortable in hand. I really do like this knife for myself because of the fact that it does fit really well in hand versus the traditional Elementum. And you know, I'm just realizing that in this review that the pivot is much smaller than it is here. I wonder if that has something to do with the button lock mechanic. I didn't notice that till now. I'll have to do a little bit of research on that to figure out why. But let me do some other comparisons. If you have the Elementum, then you're already very familiar with that size comparison that I just had out there a moment ago. So again, I have the Benchmade Bug Out, which this kind of compares to pretty well. It is a touch bigger, a touch wider, and slightly heavier. This knife is very light. The button lock is 3.42 ounces, and it is on that caged ball bearings that Civivi puts on all their knives, so the action is really good. Not knocking the Bug Out, but as you know, if you've watched my other videos, I actually did end up having to buy replacement Omega springs after just 1 month of fidgeting with this knife. And that is not going to happen because this is basically a reverse liner lock that this plunger right here uses to kind of open and close. So if you can see right here, and I'll do my best so it's not quite so bright for you guys, but hopefully you can see right about there that when I push that plunger in, it basically is doing the same thing that you do with the liner lock side by hand, and it's pushing that in and that's what allows the blade to fall. But that's why I feel like from a longevity or a reliability, from a reliability perspective, for me, this is going to last and be more reliable than these Omega springs. Now, I do have the aftermarket Omega springs on the bug out, so we'll see how long those last. I did just get my Doug Ritter back, which a few weeks later, those Omega springs failed. Now, I am going to leave it a little bit tighter, which requires a little bit more wrist action, but I want to see if the way that Hogue set that up lasts a little bit longer. As you can see in the comparison, the 3.5-inch blade lengthwise compares very favorably to the Doug Ritter, whereas the bug out at 3.42 inches, I think it's just, or is it 3.47? It's just slightly shorter than the button lock. From a profile comparison, keep in mind I do have aftermarket scales here on the bug out, but you can see the bug out is thinner. And then the Doug Ritter, which is really a full-size grip pocket knife, it's going to be a little bit bigger, as you can see right here. Two other quick comparisons are going to be the Para 3 from Spyderco, and as you can see here, Spyderco, again, I say this, I feel like every video probably sound like a broken record. Amazing ratios for in-hand grip versus blade length at that 3-inch blade length. But what it probably is more likely going to compare well to is going to be the Paramilitary 2, because identical blade length, and then the Paramilitary 2 is giving you just a tiny bit more scale length for in-hand grip than the button lock is. But again, that button lock, it's giving so much grip that I don't have to be right up with that first finger on the blade, but I can be if I really feel like I need to be. A couple more profile comparisons. As you can see, the Elementum's a little bit thinner than the Paramilitary 2, and that should be the case here also with the Para 3. And it's very minuscule, the difference there. It's just ever so slightly thinner than the Para 3. Now, it does weigh 3.42 ounces. For me, that's a lightweight knife. Anything under 4 ounces is really, to me, extremely lightweight. I found when I carry it, when I walk in the evening in my basketball shorts, that it is very, very lightweight for me. Now, the bug out with the plastic scales is 1.85 ounces, which is super duper lightweight. The Deca is going to be 2.39 ounces, so both of those still lighter in weight. But I had the I had the Para 3 out here earlier, and this is 3.4 ounces. So these two, if you're familiar with this knife, very close. Like, if you can feel the difference in that 0.02 ounces, kudos to you, because I cannot. They both feel about the same as far as the weight goes. So very lightweight carry. Now, what are some of the companion carries that I'm going to be using with this particular knife? You can see I have my Redeemed Creation wallet out here already. And what I'm probably going to partner that up with will be my Micarta scale Super Tinker, this lime green Fisher pen, and I do that for the pop, the color pop on there. And then I have my drab green i3T from Olight over here that I carry that with, that I like a lot. So I feel like the brown goes really well. I do have this little organizer that I keep everything in for the pocket, but I've come across another pocket organizer that I'll save for another video that I want to review that I think is going to be a really neat option. So, sorry, it was supposed to be a bit of a shorter video. Let me know, what do you think about the button lock Elementum? Do you like the G10 variant better than the Micarta variant? Which one out of these two is your favorite? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. Leave a like. Please subscribe if you enjoy the content. I'll be bringing more content out here in the near future. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.